All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful, let me check what day, Wednesday. I never know what day it is, guys. Never. Blessings to everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you're not religious, still pray you're super blessed. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Name Unknown. Yo, where am I? Shout out to Yosef Wali. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Justin again. It's time for a pint of beer, he says. Shout out to Crypto Incognito. LFG, y'all heart. Shout out to Pack Fresh. Let's go, baby. Shout out to Paul Axe. Jasonito. Shout out to Crypto Coons, my man, holding it down with the wrench. What's going on, Rob? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate everybody. God bless you all. All right, shout out to Negro with the chickens. I see what you did there with the YouTube name. Shout out to Bilam Radpie 100. What is going on, man? The Crypto Killers. Shout out to BG and Michael Mabry. He said, "What up, homie?" What up to you, bro? Shout out to Nola and Lawrence. What's going on, Lawrence? Shout out to Mustavin, who's listening while doing arms. Nice, man. You always got to do arms every single day. Arms and chest only is the way to go. All right. Well, are we bearish? Are we bearish on this Bitcoin? You know, yesterday we were looking at this pump. Yesterday we were watching the pump. We were thinking to ourselves, is it looking bearish? And the answer was no. The answer was no, sir. No, ma'am. Why were we not bearish yesterday? Well, yesterday, if you were in the stream, we were watching the pump. We were saying, you know what? You know what? Where were we yesterday? We were right here yesterday, and I was saying, we're going to consolidate, and then we're going to get another move to the upside. Right? If you remember the whole stream yesterday, I was saying, this here, to me, looks bullish. We're going to consolidate and then get another push up. That's exactly what has happened. Why? Why did that happen? Because we didn't really have any kind of bearish divergence at this high, right? We wanted to see the dreaded bald-headed Gary Gensler pattern on Market Cipher B. We wanted to see the momentum waves getting lower over time, like this. As the price was getting higher, we wanted to see the Gary Gensler bald head, right? If the SEC loses a case, that's not really necessarily the Gary Gensler pattern, right? Now, there were a few levels we were looking at as well yesterday, if you remember. And level number 1 was going to be potential resistance at the POC of the range. Oh my goodness, we hit the POC of the range to the dang dollar. And if you remember, there was another confluence there. It was none other than the Fibonacci golden pocket retracement also hit. Wow. So yesterday during the stream, we knew not to short yet because we hadn't come up to the key area of resistance numero uno, which indeed is the high volume node of the range and the Fibonacci golden pocket. And by golly, put me on a tractor and call me Aunt Sally, because we have done come straight to the dang golden pocket POC. Now, what does this mean? Am I super bearish? Well, I'll be honest with you guys, okay? I am not super bearish right now, although we have to acknowledge the fact that locally this indeed is a downtrend. I just don't see the bearish divergences that I wanted to see at this high, right? We don't see a bearish divergence on the hourly, right? Again, what is a bearish divergence? In case anybody's nuevo around here. We want to be seeing, as the price is getting higher and higher, we want these momentum waves down here on our oscillator to be getting lower and lower, right? So a bearish divergence is when the price is getting higher and pumping, but the momentum's coming out of the market. Unsustainable. Unsustainable. Like factory farming. You know, GMO Roundup Ready corn in the soil, totally depleting everything. Unsustainable. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to local farming. But I digress. This is a bearish divergence. And again, we use the illustration of Gary Gensler's bald head because it's very apropos, especially in our current market environment. Now, I'm tired of these dang trend lines extending to the right. I need to somehow save that. I don't know how to save that. Alright? Yeah, so we didn't actually see that when we came up to the key area of resistance. So what does this mean? We are getting a rejection. We are getting a rejection from this area of resistance. We've started to break down a little bit. We've taken out the previous lows, right? In fact, not only did we take out the previous lows, but we can actually see something quite interesting here. We can see something very interesting here. We have a level, $27,122. $27,122. If we take a look at the monthly time frame on Bitcoin, we can see that this level of $27,210 is exactly where we had these candles close in May and June. So it's a pretty key level. And so we're coming up to this area. We're starting to get a little bit of a rejection, but I'm looking at the higher term time frames, thinking to myself, I just don't know if this pump is over yet, right? I don't know if this pump is over yet, because the context of all of this, bullish divergences, money flow curving to the upside, it still looks like we got more. And so I'm keeping my eyes right now on some very Pacific levels, all right? I've actually got two levels I'm looking at. One I call the Pacific level, the other one I call the Atlantic level, right? First of all, we have to understand this right here is still our local range. We've formed a pretty nice bottom on here, right? We've actually formed a pretty nice rounded bottom on here. We put in a local higher high. So what does that mean? It means we can be looking for a retracement down to the local Fibonacci golden pocket, right? So we've got a few to be looking at, right? We could take one from this low that we made back last Tuesday. We could also take it all the way from this wick that we got way down here on ByBit and say, look, you know, if we come back down for a retest, these would be some interesting areas. We could also take the fib from the last low we put in before the big impulse to the upside, and we see that it's actually coming down to a very significant support resistance flip, which is the value area high of the range, confluence with this literal support resistance flip, right? And so we got some interesting levels here, and I'd say the pump is not over yet until we start to lose key supports. When you get a big candle like this, you know, you expect somewhat of a move down. So in an ideal world, what I would be looking for right now, as far as a new long entry, would maybe at first, I would be looking to come down to that last fib pull around 26,600 and then get a move to the upside, bouncing off this support resistance flip. And we want to be looking at the lower term time frames, right? As we come down here, we want to be looking at these lower term time frames to see the following. Are we seeing the momentum waves and the money flow getting higher over time, right? We're starting to see these already. We're starting to see these big bottoms form on the 24-minute time frame. These the big bends, the Ben Armstrong. Shout out to Ben Armstrong. Man, what a crazy sitch. We got these big Ben green dots down here, right? And if we start to see more of these, right? Especially if we do something like this, and we get another big bend down here, as the price comes to our support, that is a very bullish looking thing, right? So now we're just playing the waiting game, right? We're just kind of playing the waiting game to see what is price going to do. If we don't see the bullish divergences at the support resistance flip, we don't take a long, right? That's very important. But when we look at that, like this is the 1 hour time frame, right? Let's just take a look at this, right? Because I want to explain why I'm still maybe a little bit too bullish, right? I've been in the past, they say I'm too bullish, you know? So let's remove everything on the chart on Market Cipher except the money flow, right? Except the money flow. When you see this thing happening here on the money flow, that's telling you that the direction is the price action, the momentum is going to the upside, right? It's very rare. Look at this, right? It's very rare that you see the money flow getting higher or lower over time like this, and it doesn't lead to some kind of follow through, right? Look at these highs, for example. The 1 hour money flow was getting lower the entire time, right? So, very, very interesting stuff. We got to keep this in the back of our mind here. Now, if we can hold key supports and continue to make higher lows and continue this what is a short squeeze, right? Then I believe we will see a $30,000 Bitcoin. And kind of looking at the idea I was talking about yesterday, right? Where on the daily time frame here, and again, I'm approaching this in with the mindset of, you know, what's gonna basically wreck the most people, because the market really is just a giant system to wreck people, right? And what would really wreck the most people is basically getting some kind of head and shoulders pattern where everybody gets extremely bullish to be back at 30K after the grayscale ETF, and that $30,000 level, if we take the fib from the high to the low, is right around the 786 Fibonacci, the value area high, right around this area right in here, okay? We also understand that we have still a lot of move to fill here. After the big move down, we could easily get sucked up through all this space here. And then once we're back in this range, we could easily squeeze all the shorts that have shorted right in here, and they all have their stop losses above these wicks, right? Including myself. Because I am also short from 29,350. So, you know, I'll bet you a lot of people are short from here. I mean, if you shorted from here, you're probably still in the trade. Why would you close it? You know, we had a massive dump. You took a nice take profit one, keep a portion of the trade open, stop loss move to your entry, right? So you got a lot of people who are holding these trades, boom, 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 to get stopped out. It causes a big spike, and then we could get a big old drop, right? Now, the reason why I'm still bearish on the macro, right? The reason why I'm still looking for a lower high to get put in around this area is because on the weekly time frame, right? On the weekly time frame, we have ourselves, and this is serious, all right? This is not, it's not anything meant to be taken lightly. On the weekly time frame, we've got ourselves the dreaded bald-headed Gary Gensler pattern right here. Okay, so we do have a weekly bearish divergence that, in my opinion, still potentially has some way to go. Now, the VWAP, the yellow line on Market Cipher beyond the weekly, is starting to point up. This is showing us that we're starting to bottom out, but we have to understand that the bottom might not be in yet, right? You can see that thing starting to curve up many a time, and there's still more downside, right? So just because it's starting to curve up, when we're on such big time frames, there's a lot of room for volatility. There's a lot of room for volatility. I mean, we saw this thing started to curve down here, right? Well, there was a lot of room for volatility. We put in a higher high. From the time that we saw this yellow line start to point downward, looking kind of bearish up here, we actually put in a higher high from there, right? In fact, the short trade that I'm currently in right now from 31,750, this one right down here from 31,746, you know, this was after the weekly was already starting to look bearish. We got that higher high. So we might get a lower low here. It's just something to keep in mind, right? Now, I just like yesterday, it's still very peculiar that Coinbase did not make a lower low. In fact, MEXC also, as you can tell here, did not make a lower low. Right, MEXC came down and perfectly hit this support resistance flip for the second time. Coinbase came down and made a higher low. Let's take a look at the all-time index. Let's take a look at Bitstamp. Bitstamp made a higher low. Let's take a look here at this is the ByBit USDT pair. It made a slightly lower low, nothing like the ByBit USD pair. So it's a little bit fishy, right? It smells a little bit fishy. It smells a little bit fishy. It's a little bit concerning. Like this wick on the USDC USDT pair. That was a little concerning. All right. So yeah, I would have to say that overall, and I could be wrong here, I would expect us to make another move to the upside. Now, I wouldn't die on that hill, guys, because typically Wednesday is that middle of the week where we put in the weekly high or the weekly low, right? So I wouldn't die on that hill. I was hoping for a bigger move up earlier today. We didn't get it. So this is where we stand right now. To the downside, we need to be aware of like the 26.6 area, Fibonacci golden pocket, plus value area high, support resistance flip right around here. And we could take it from there. This right now is the only level I care about, because if we lose this, then we can go back to the drawing board. But still long, still short, waiting for a big break. We're definitely in the middle of a massive range. So when it comes to swing trading here, wow, MEXC now has a fixed range volume profile. That's legit. When it comes to swing trading here, guys, this is not really the zone to be looking out for. Let's see who we got in chat right now. Shout out to Doug D. Shout out to Doug D. God bless, man. Is the music loud? I've been keeping the music a little bit loud, guys, you know. I'll lower it for the crowd pleaser over here. Shout out to Dread Mining in the chat. Shout out to J-Boy Bullish in the chat. Shout out to Seedful Music. What does the weekly say? The weekly, in my opinion, a weekly bearish div means it's a little bit more probable we get some more downside, my friend. That's what I think. Shout out to Crypto Paul Fire, afternoon from Tennessee. Shout out to everybody living in Tennessee. Shout out to everybody out in Louisiana. Shout out to Michael. He says grow food, not yard grass. Shout out to Crypto Cowpoke, who's shorting the crud out of Bob USDT on MEXC. I never heard of Bob. Never heard of Bob. That's so interesting. AZTV. What's going on, AZTV? Shout out to Leptin Flow. What do I think about the Mike Mentzer HIIT workout and only working out of group muscles once per week? Do you really want me to answer? I don't know. All right, I'll tell you what I think about it, because I like working out, so I have to answer. Look, I think that it works. I think it works, but I'm gonna pull some bro science out on you. You have to shock the system. If you only train that way, you're gonna hit plateaus real quick. You're probably gonna hurt yourself, right? You gotta shock the system. That works sometimes, right? But you can only do it for so long. You gotta use periodization, and that means sometimes you could just go once a week real hard as possible. You'll probably make some good strength gains in the short term. Recovery is real good, but eventually you gotta get your frequency up. You gotta get your volume up. You gotta shock the system, man, like the bros say. You know, the bros are right about a lot of stuff. All right. Shout out to the Casper crew. Shout out to Susan Capodiso. Rajat hopes Bitcoin flies from here. You know, it might. Shout out to TJ Johnson in the gym grinding right now. I hope you got a heavy set of squats on the bar, man, ready to go. Yeah, man. So, Bitcoin. We are where we are. We came down. We, you know, earlier this morning in the Casper crew, we took a long New York Open from here. Obviously, that got stopped out after a TP1. And I have not been in a trade for the rest of the day. But I would say this. We did come down and we bounced from the 786 Fibonacci golden pocket area right here. So potentially now, who knows? Maybe we'll get a bigger move to the upside from here. I would love to see these highs get taken out. I would really like to see 28.1K get taken out. I think we can do it. I think we can do it based on our 4 hour. 4 hours still looks super dang bullish to me. I don't know about y'all, but 4 hours still looking super dang bullish to me. Should we do the pump song? One of the days, guys, we're gonna get the pump song back up into here. They said muscle confusion was a myth. No, it's not a myth. It's not a myth. I'm telling. If you have only been going heavy, low rep, same exercises, next time you go to the gym, do some sets of 15, do some sets of 20 on some new exercises, and then you're gonna get some gains, man. Some strength gains, some muscle gains. I'm telling you. All right, let's check out Ethereum. Shout out to Crypto Coons. Joining the Casper crew will change your life if you're dedicated to learning. That is absolutely true. Is it possible to scalp the lower time frames for several hours a day? It is very possible. I mean, you got guys in the Casper crew taking 75 trades a day or some crazy stuff like KPAX does. Yeah, you could scalp low time frames. I don't do it. I don't do it. You got to be really good to do that, because, you know, if you're good at it, you can make a lot of money. If you suck at it, it's death by 1,000 cuts, you know? Especially if you're getting those fees in there. Shout out to Lauren. What's going on, Lauren? Good to see you. Shout out to King Caesar. How many squats and reps? I just got done, before I went away, I did a 6-week thing where I was doing 20 rep squats. And I got up to some pretty heavy weight. I got up to 335, ended up doing like 23 reps. All right? And I started pretty light. I started way under 300 pounds. So now I'm doing just heavy weights. But like now, if I'm gonna squat, I'm doing like 3 to 5 reps. You gotta switch it up, man. Alright, so it's Blaze. Jason, when you have a bearish div on, let's say, the 12-minute, and you're at a key level, how do you know exactly when to enter? I will tell you. It's Blaze. I will tell you. Now, this is my bread and butter strategy. All right, it's my bread and butter strategy. What you do, excuse me, what you do is the following, okay? First of all, you have to have a key level, right? So let's go back to the long that I probably would have taken if I had not been away, all right? For a whole week I was away. So let's see right here. Boom. All right, we had this level right here. This was a CDW, right? A CDW. So what you do is you wait for price to come to that level, right? And when it comes to the level, how do you know when to pull the trigger? For me, the way I do it is if I see that the momentum waves are getting higher over time on the 12-minute, and the money flow is also getting higher over time on the 12-minute, that for me is an entry. Every time, right? Now, you could wait for a retest. You might not get the retest, but if you see the money flow and the momentum waves getting higher, then for me, that's a trade, right? Now, you could wait for the level to be reclaimed. I wasn't here, so I don't know exactly how long that took. Was that a fast wick or a slow wick? Was that a fast or a slow? Ooh, a fast wick. So yeah, let's say you get in after the wick is over, somewhere around here. No, you got to put that stop down below. Honestly, if you're feeling a little bit risque, you just put the stop maybe like down underneath the 786 golden pocket area, so you have a better risk to reward, and then take it from there. Or you just use a smaller position size and put that stop down yonder. But if you're in the moment and you see your confirmations, you see the money flow and the divergence, you know, you could just take that trade. But this is not financial advice, right? This is something meant to be done with good risk management. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you know. Those are the perfect entries, the money flow and the momentum waves. Money flow and momentum waves, right? Is it going to work every time? No. But I'd say most of the time, especially if you're at the utmost extremities of a range, right? The 12-minute is meant to be traded in a range, right? So if you know that this is your range right here, and you've got yourself the high of the range around this level up here, and you've got the low of the range around this level right here, then you would be looking basically for shorts on the 12-minute around the high and longs around the low, right? So you're not going to be looking for these things in the middle of nowhere. You could, but in general, you want to wait for the utmost extremities. The utmost extremities, right? So, you know, yesterday during the live stream, the reason why I didn't short the utmost extremity, right? Because it's not just about waiting for a level. It's about level and confirmation. So I had a trade here that I was looking to take. The reason I didn't short is because when you look at our 12-minute, we don't see bearish divergences in momentum or money flow, right? Money flow is getting thick, and well, we don't even look at the money flow if we don't got the div in the first place, right? We didn't have the div here at all, right? We don't get a div until we actually hit the resistance, the POC of the range, confluence with the golden pocket. This is where, if you look, we've got the divergence, but money flow is getting thicker, which is why I didn't open up a fresh short there. Maybe to my detriment. We'll have to wait and see, but I don't care because I'm already in 2 juicy shorts. So I'm not in a rush to get in a short. I am in a rush to get in a long, I'll be honest with you. I took a long this morning, thought it was going to be a little bit juicier than it ended up being. You know? So now we've got another little triangle thing forming here. Let's go down to our 3-minute. Let's do some low time frame analysis on this mini range, right? We've got ourselves a mini range here. Got ourselves a range within a range. It's pretty crazy. So we've got this old range up here. Now we're forming a triangle, right? Let's check out the order flow right now. What's happening here? Interesting. So we actually got some bullish divergences right around here. Got a lot of people shorting the low. Came up high. Let's see what we got going on here. Nothing really to write home about. Nothing really to write home about. If we do start to pump, we definitely need to be aware of the VWAP, which would it could act as a nice resistance around 27,350. So let's wait and see. But let's draw actually some targets here. Let's draw some targets on this triangle and see what we can be looking for right now. If we break out the apex, yeah, we could be looking for right around the VWAP. Right around the VWAP, guys. VWAP's right here, 27,350. To the downside, what we could be looking at here. I mean, if we break down from this, I would be looking for lower. I would be looking for lower. We would be looking down to the support resistance flip, coming back down to test our area that we have right around the Fibonacci golden pocket. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got about 650 people in here, about 100 likes. Let's see if we can't get all the likes in here. Shout out to Tim Moo. He says, "Let's go, milady." Shout out to J Money. Shout out to Dustin Fuentes. Shout out to Ben Armstrong. Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened. Like, it's none of my business. But I will say this about Ben. All my experiences with him were amazing. And when I was a small channel, he had me on. He had me on his channel. And he basically gave me a half-hour infomercial for my own channel. And he pumped my subs like crazy. He didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that. But he helped out so many YouTubers and people in the space get a platform around the blockchain, giving tiny little channels an opportunity to get some publicity, right? Talked to him, you know, a few times, one-on-one. Seems like a real good guy. I don't know, obviously, I don't know what's going on. Haven't been following the drama, don't care. But I wish him all the best. And I hope everything gets resolved. Whatever it is. And also, it is crazy to me that you can get fired from your own YouTube channel. That just don't seem right. That just don't seem right. Like, what the heck? Shout out to Sudeep. God bless you, Sudeep. Good to see you here. Do I listen to Christian music? I don't know. Like, define Christian music. I listen to Christians who make music that is very biblical, maybe, but I don't really prefer certain genres of the industry Christian music. All right. So shout out to Tupaj123. Right? He says, hey Jason Casper, there's an anchored VWAP just above the high on the 4-hour that is confluent with the golden pocket. If you take the anchor from the high in the daily. Interesting, man. Let's check that out. Let's check it out. Remember yesterday I couldn't find the anchor VWAP? It might happen again today. Yeah, I see that. I see that. Look at that. Yeah, 28,600. Confluent with the golden pocket. Look at that. You know, there's more confluence there than just the golden pocket as well, but that is a nice confluence. Yeah, I'm expecting another high to be put in, guys. I don't think the pump is over. Could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, look, this ain't no financial advice, all right? If you think this is financial advice, I mean, you're listening to a guy on a treadmill in a tank top with a see-through market Cipher tank top, right? So, you know, this ain't no financial advice. The reason why I'm not in a rush to get into a short is because I'm in 2 juicy shorts. So I don't care if I miss another short, right? I do care if I miss a long. And I did miss the only good opportunity when I was away. So I'm thankful that I'm still in this long trade from down here. But I'm looking to add to this thing. If we get a nice pullback and some nice confirmations, I will add to this trade. But I'm being very careful about adding to this trade because if I ruin the entry and then, you know, if I add to it like here, and then my entry's here, and then we do this, the pain and the anguish. So I'm being very cautious about adding to the long trade. You know what I'm saying? You know? All right. And the green screen backpack, that's right. Yeah, shout out to David Brumble. Yeah, the Christian music industry, I mean, not only the music's bad, I'll be honest with you, it's so dang bad. My wife listens to that stuff. I'm like, I can't even listen to it. It's like the melodies are bad, the instruments are bad. It's like, come on, you know. Shout out to Crypto Crank. All right, Crypto Crank, I'll mod you. I'll mod you, Crypto Crank. Let's mod Crypto Crank. Where you at, Crypto Crank? I don't see you now. Dang. How am I gonna mod you? Here you are. Boom. You're a mod. Any advice on how to do more pull-ups? You just gotta eat clean and train hard, my friend. Nah, I'm joking. Yeah, get some resistance bands. Get some resistance bands and tie them around the pull-up bar. And put the resistance bands around your knees or whatever. And really focus on keeping your chest up and squeezing the lats as you come into the top of the bar. Right? That'll help you. And then slowly remove the resistance bands until one day you're popping out 30, 40, 50 pull-ups. Yeah, Jim Croce. I love Jim Croce. You know the problem is? You know what the problem is? I kept getting copyright strikes. But maybe, you know what? Maybe today I'm in a screw it kind of mood. Maybe I'll just screw it and just get a whole bunch of copyright strikes. Exo needs mobile app. Yes, that's so true. All right, shout out to Divine Hood. Divine Hood. He says, we're in a descending channel and this price action looks corrective before another pump up. I think 29.2 to 29.5 are good targets. Also, Spartan Wrestler has a 30,400 good confluence. Yes, those are my exact targets, man. Those are my exact targets. So I'm honestly looking to add to my short that I'm in right around here if we come up to that area. And then the 30,400 level that Spartan's looking at, you know, I myself, this is my level that I will add to my my other trade. Let's see. let's get it. This one. Stupid notifications. This trade I will add to if we get that 30,400 and a rejection. I'm gonna add to this juicy short trade from the top. I've been waiting to add to it, guys. I've been waiting to add to it. So let's see if I can't compound this baby down a little bit lower. Is anyone else still in this trade? Man, I've been holding it for a while. I hodled those trades. You guys know. When did I take this? In July. Been holding it for a month, guys. More than a month. Right? And I've been holding this long trade since June. Right? Talk about swing trading. You know, that's the way to go. That is the way to go. It does reduce FOMO as long as you lock in a profit. It reduces FOMO, I'll tell you that. Super church pastors are all on PEDs. Oh man, who knows? Who knows? I don't think people are on PEDs. Shout out to Divine Hood. How much are the funding fees? Ah, I'll show you. I'll show you the funding fees. Look at this. MEXC will tell you. So the funding fee, I lost 0.02 Bitcoin on. And the trading fee, I lost 0.0006 Bitcoin on. So, all in all, about, let's say, 0.023 Bitcoin I lost holding this. So if I can add to it, you know, so that's about it's about $800. It's about $800 I lost on that, you know, about 800. But you got to think of it this way, right? Of a total of $7,000. Well, you know, it always changes because of the Bitcoin price, but I'll take it because of the potential of another pump. I got a long way to go until it's eating into my profits here of realized, right? And right now, even if I close the trade right now, I could make that fee plus double, right? Or basically, I would basically recover the fee if I close this trade right now. So that's my justification for holding it. And this short, I've been getting paid to hold this short. So this short, I actually made $400 just by holding it. And this one, I made 0.006 Bitcoin hodling. So it all equals out. It all equals out. The only good thing on this chart, says Crypto Crank, is the 4-hour money flow. Yeah, man. And that's honestly keeping me bullish. That's keeping me bullish. That's keeping me a little bit bullish. What's my body fat percent? It's probably pretty high. It's probably like 20%, you know? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you, all right? I'll be honest with you guys, okay? Should I be honest or should I lie? I'm a firm believer that if you eat a lot and you train really hard, you don't have to worry about being super lean. Because if you have a lot of muscle, you can be fat and still have abs, right? You could be fat and still have abs. Like, people get into fitness, they cut. They're eating like 1,800 calories. Jeez, man. No wonder you don't have abs at 12% body fat, you know? But if you're strong and you got energy, eating whole foods and stuff, you know, your body's gonna grow. And you'll look jacked even though you're kind of fat, you know? I'm pretty fat. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm pretty fat. But you know, I'm still leaner than the average. How do you subscribe to this channel? What leverage am I on? High. But I use high leverage, guys. You gotta understand. You gotta understand. The high leverage is something that is part of my strategy. Okay, so please, leverage is just a tool, guys. It's a tool that's meant to be used in conjunction with good risk management, right? So people really don't understand what leverage is, and people really don't understand how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to D Fran. He's gonna identify as a tree to grow. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. If you want to live off trading, especially if you trade like me, I would honestly say you need $250,000 of capital up front. I'll be honest with you guys. If you want to live like a normal American life, making a few $1,000s a month on average, 250K is a real good sweet spot, because you don't have to worry about scalping and all this crap, getting all wrapped around the axle about, oh no, if I miss a move, I'm not going to make money. You could wait for those good trades, and then the ones that play out around $150,000 to $250,000, you know, you could put up for margin $1,500, $2,000, and those trades can make a lot. I mean, you guys have seen the trades I've done, you know, making tens of thousands of dollars, but it doesn't happen every month. That's the thing. So, you know, that's the sweet spot for me, right? I'd say 100K is probably the minimum I would want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, leverage should be used to de-risk your capital and free up your. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. So let's say I have $150,000 in my account, right? If I enter a trade with high leverage, right? If my liquidation price, let's say, is like $1,700, if my margin is $1,700, that's a little bit more than a 1% loss if I get liquidated, right? So you got to understand, when you're using high leverage, my liquidation price is my backup stop loss. My real stop loss is always before my liquidation. My liquidation price is a backup stop loss because I want to mitigate every temptation there is to gamble. So you know the game. You guys know the game because you've all played it, and I played it. We all play it. The game is this, right? We're gonna long here. This was our plan, to long support, right? We're gonna long the CDW. Maybe we got a little bounce from here, right? Let's say this was our plan, okay? You enter a trade with low leverage and you're tempted to keep it open, or you're tempted to add to it so you get a better entry, right? If your liquidation price is just below your stop loss where it should be, even if you start to play that game, you're out. And not only are you out, but you're out with a small loss. That's why I use high leverage, one of the reasons. The other reason is because I keep my capital across multiple exchanges. I keep it off exchanges. And another reason is because I tend to enter trades on very low time frames where I can use high leverage, right? I can use high leverage because I don't have to worry about getting liquidated, right? I mean, the thing is, guys, look at this, okay? This trade idea, my actual stop loss, when I entered the trade, my stop loss was much tighter than what it is now. Because I was like catching a bounce. Once we got this big move, I lowered it a little bit in case we came back down for a liquidity grab. right? After I already locked in a profit. But when you look at this here, even where my stop loss is now, we're talking about 0.5%. 0.5% stop loss, right? 0.5%. Now, I was looking to long a very specific level here, right? I had a very specific plan. So it's not like I'm gambling with high leverage. My whole account, let's just 75x my whole dang stack and hope for the best. That's not what I'm doing. I have a very specific stop loss planned in advance. And even if I get liquidated, I'm isolating 1% give or take of my margin, of my capital. So even if everything goes against me, I don't stick to my stop loss. I get liquidated because prices go without even having a chance to set the stop loss. I'm out with a small loss, right? So, in fact, in some ways, you could say using higher leverage is safer because, let's say, the exchange goes down and you're on like 2x leverage, and then you wake up the next morning after coming to the exchange and we've dumped all the way down, and now you're in a huge loss instead of just the liquidation. You know what I'm saying? So people don't understand what leverage is, how to use it. It's not a gambling tool. It's something that's meant to be incorporated into a good risk management plan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. All right, let's check out the Bitcoin chart. Are we breaking out? Yes. We're breaking out the triangle now. We're heading up to the VWAP. Let's go, baby. We're heading up to the dang VWAP. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if we can't get there. All right, next, the VWAP around 27,350, give or take. Exactly. It depends on where your entry is. Leverage. You can. The better your entry, the more leverage you can use. Your position size is always relative to where your stop loss needs to be, right? If you have $10 and your stop loss is 1% and you're risking right? If you have $100 and you're risking 1%, if your stop loss is 1% of a stop loss, then you can put $100 on the trade. If you have a 0.5% stop loss, you can put $200 on the trade. If you have a 0.25% stop loss, you can put $400 on the trade. If you have a 2% stop loss, you got to put $50 on the trade. If you have a 4% stop loss, well, you can only put $25 on that trade to abide by good risk management, and it doesn't matter what your leverage is. If you have $100 in your account, if you have a, let's say a 1% stop loss, you could use 70x leverage and put $100 on the trade, right? And you would get stopped out before liquidation, or you could use 2x leverage and put $100 on the trade. Either way, that stop loss gets hit after 1%, and either way, you're gonna lose $1. The only difference is the margin that you isolated and put up as collateral, the percent loss or gain on that is more, right? If you're 70x leverage and you're isolating, you're isolating $100 of your capital, it's gonna look a lot different on the P&L shot. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look like a lot more on that P&L shot. It looks juicy for Twitter. That's another reason to use leverage, for Twitter shots. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Aaron G. What is going on, man? What is going on? If it ain't got a frog, if it ain't got a dog. Shout out to Crypto Face. Shout out to J Bull. J Bull, I love you, bro. J Bull, my man. Comments on every video, joins every live stream. Appreciate you, bro. God bless you. All right. Well, guys, it's been a great stream, but I have to head out. Slippage with high leverage. I have not had any problems. I don't think slippage doesn't happen. I don't really trade these random coins, but here's the thing. Slippage, I think that has to do just with your position size, my friend. But, guys, I have to head out. My wife needs my help. May the Lord bless you. May he keep you. May he shine light upon you. May he have grace upon you. And may the Lord turn his face towards you and give you wholeness. In Jesus' name, even if you're not religious, still pray you and your family are super blessed. And I'll see everybody in the next video. Peace!